The whole goal of this platform is really to give you sort of a safe and collegial place to practice those skills. And so that's really sort of the framework here is that you know, it's really about helping you all be as successful as you can be, and again, by making it so that you get sort of you know, better and better feedback so that your communication skills are more likely to create success in the events that you're you know, whether again it's with a prospect, a customer, or networking. So the site itself is called Test My Pitch, and you'll see by the web address we've created a custom site for you. So if you do go to our main site, you won't see the Baltimore Life logo, so that'll be your indicator that you're not on the right site. So you want to go to the baltlife.testmypitch.com URL. That's the first thing. And so what I'm going to do over the next few minutes is log into the site as a user. We'll walk through the process of creating a pitch and posting it. And then we'll actually log in as a different user and look at what the reviewing side is like. And so maybe some of you are familiar with an organization called Toastmasters. The whole goal of this site is sort of to take what Toastmasters does in their in-person meetings and to create that same atmosphere online where you're able to work with people, you know, very collegially and very quickly to develop communication skills. So I do see that many of you are now viewing my screen. Is there anyone that doesn't see my screen? And what you should see is 3 people looking to the sky and the Baltimore Life logo in the upper left-hand corner. Okay, we'll take that as a yes. And so what I'm going to do in just a moment is I'm going to change screens, and I would like you to let me know if you don't see the screen change. So my screen's now changed to where it says Welcome Bill, and then there's a sort of a list of different links below that to the left. Does anyone not see that? Okay, good. And the only reason you might not sync up, I've found sometimes using this tool, this join.me program that we're using, that sometimes if you go out of it and come back in, it doesn't sync up quite as quickly. So I'm glad to see that we're all synced up. So I'm now, and the one thing to sort of point out, and I'm going to go back to that main menu, is I'm from anywhere on the site to get to what we call the user menu is up in the upper right-hand corner. You just hit, once you're logged in, you just hit this back to member home, and that will get you back to this sort of home screen, which is where, as a user, you can navigate to all the sort of private functionality. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the process of creating and posting a pitch. So I'm going to click on Manage and Create Pitches. And you'll see here I already have a pitch posted, and I put one up this morning just to use as an example. But when I'm going to create a new pitch, I'm just going to go over here to the right. If you haven't created one yet, the screen will look just slightly different, but the idea is the same. You'll just click on the Create a New Introduction or Pitch. And you'll see here it asks you what type of pitch, and in this case all of our pitches that we're working on are sales related, and so you'll see when I click on that it reveals a variety of templates. And so all we're going to do is just decide which type of pitch we want to work on. So, and Sean, after I'm finished, we'll sort of talk through how these will be used and in what order. And we certainly would appreciate your feedback, and the whole goal of this is to evolve it to a place that it's not only as effective as it can be for you all, but that it is as effective as it can be for your counterparts throughout the country and throughout the company. So we'll just pick one here. Maybe we'll just do maybe the networking self-introduction one, and the rest of these are more specific to your training methodology. But we'll just pick this one, the networking one, and they all are very, very similar. And so the whole idea in what we found in our research is that where people really get stuck in developing communication skills is at the very beginning in the drafting. It's part of the process. So as opposed to sort of being too concerned about, sort of developing the perfect language and looking at the whole, sort of issue of creating a complete pitch, is really what our goal here is to break that down into the key elements. And you'll see this no matter which template you go into. It's really focused on helping you just simply express, sort of various parts of what would be valuable in that type of communication. And from this, once we've put responses into each of these, I'm just going to put a single letter into each box, and we'll go on to the next screen. But you'll see that once we've answered each of these questions, whatever we put in there flows into this text editor. And from here we can do any type of wordsmithing. We certainly can change the order of any of the items. We want to make it, sort of as friendly as it can be. Maybe we want a more flowery opening. Maybe we want a more direct opening. Maybe we want a harder close or a softer close. There could be a variety of things that we'll do to sort of adjust the language and make it appropriate for the kind of communication we're creating. And so the goal is to get a draft, and it's not really, the whole goal here isn't that it be perfect. The goal is that we do our best and get something reasonable within a few minutes. It's not intended to be a long process. And this word counter here at the bottom will keep us within the right number of words for the time that's been set as sort of the best time maximum for this type of communication. So in this case, our communication is a 30-second self-introduction, which would be 75 words. It's sort of, that's kind of our normal speaking rate. And so this particular draft, it would keep us within 75 words so that we didn't go over that 30-second time limit. And again, we may find that we want to adjust some of these time limits or whatnot in your communication with Sean and your manager and so on any sort of observations to that nature will really help us optimize this tool for you as quickly as possible. So once we have the text how we want it, then we just hit save and continue. And I'm actually going to go back a couple of screens and go into a pitch that's already posted so that you can see what this looks like. So I'm just going to get to this next screen and stop for a second. So you should now be on a screen that says edit sales at the very top, and it says 30-second sales, and this is our 30-second self-introduction. Is there anyone that's not on that screen? Okay, good. So you'll see, and you'll just see sort of very silly text in here, sort of the standard filler text that goes in a lot of websites when they're first built. But the whole point here was just to simply get some text in. And you'll see I'm at 69 words. Again, the limit on this would be 75 words before it would tell me to reduce some of the content. So I can wordsmith that if I want. And then I can do one of two things from here. I can either hit save, and that will post my pitch for review, and of course it would just post text, or I can go on and create a video. And if I do that, then I'll just post the video on YouTube or a similar site like Vimeo or whatnot, and use the embed code from that site to put in here in this video embed code space. And so an embed code is different from a link to the video, and I'll actually go to YouTube and show you exactly what I mean. But you'll see these on the right-hand side, these helpful videos. This will walk you through that process. We also have a text version of that information that we've shared with Sean that he'll share with anyone that needs it. But creating a video, most of the time that I do it, I use my phone. I've also used my tablet. I've also used my laptop. Now we have all of these tools, and uploading to YouTube and then grabbing the embed code is really just a, sort of a couple minute process, and and you're able to share the video here. So, so in any event, we've drafted a pitch, we've created a video and put the embed code here, and then we just hit Save Changes. So I'm going to do two things from here, and one will be I'm going to log out and log back in as a different user, and we'll take a look at this pitch and see what it looks like and see what the reviewing side looks like. And then we'll also take a look at YouTube and just make sure that that finding the embed code for everybody is easy. And again, the uploading process should be fairly straightforward from either your phone or your tablet or computer. But before I go forward from here, are there any questions? I'll kind of take a breath for a second.
This is Dan. I have a question. The pitches that we put together, you're going to upload them? We're going to upload them on YouTube?
Yeah, and yes, that's correct. So the videos, that YouTube is a video hosting site, so it's just we're just simply using it to host the videos. We can mark them as unlisted so that nobody, unless we share the link with somebody, they won't see it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it could be, very
Yeah,
private.
you hate to say something and, have 15,000 people say, boy, that really sucked.
Yeah, no, we don't want that much crowdsourcing. It's really
okay,
meant to be intimate to you. Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, sure. So I'm going to log in as a different user now, and so
I actually have a question, if you don't mind.
Oh, please.
I loaded my video, this is Mrs. Q, but I wasn't able to get the embedded code for the video.
Yep.
And I was wondering, where do you get that at?
Yeah, no problem. And that's the next, after we do this next step, that we're going to go to YouTube and actually look at where the embed code is. So that's a great question.
All right, thank you.
There in just a moment. Is there any other questions? Cool. So we're now logged in as a different user, and we're going to, as opposed to going to manage and create pitches, which we did previously, is we're going to go down here to browse pitches, and again, we're going to choose the one category we have, and we'll see that there are actually a few different pitches that are posted, and we can see the names of the folks that have posted them, and here's the one that I posted this morning. And so we'll go on this, and again, we see that silly text, and then we see a video, and the video doesn't correspond to the text or correspond to what you're necessarily doing on the site, but the whole goal is just to show you that, here's where the text goes, here's where the video goes, and then, any information about the individual would be on the right, and then we'll just come down to a scorecard, and these scorecards have been all customized to the purpose of that particular communication. So the criteria should be aligned with exactly the purpose of what was being communicated. So again, if you have any feedback on this, both Sean and your manager will be very interested in that, and certainly we can make adjustments as we go. But the whole goal here of the people who are doing the review will be simply to certainly to watch the video and, if appropriate, read the text, and then come down and evaluate. So to give feedback based on what they saw, what they read, to help the person elevate their skills. So kind of the normal best practice that we see here is, to identify the right score for this, for the particular criteria. And then if the score wasn't a 5, then to make whatever comments are appropriate that would help the person get the score from your perspective to a 5. And so one of the things that we've seen help particularly when either managers or peers are giving review is to, really think of it as if it was you. So if this communication was you and you were hoping for some constructive feedback from someone else, what would you hope to hear from them? What are the things that would help you most? And so if we both give and receive feedback from that perspective. The goal here is that, the people giving feedback are doing it from sort of the most thoughtful perspective that they can in terms of helping somebody, their peer, get better, or their account executive get better. And from the other perspective, it's being received from the standpoint of, this is somebody who's trying to give me good advice, and I may not agree with it, but their best intent is there. So so this is what the feedback, the scoring would look like. And then once you're done there, you just hit save rating, and that will save. And what I'm going to do is actually just go back out one screen, and we'll take a look at Sean's, because I know, and Sean has had a little trouble uploading to YouTube from his iPhone, so we're still working through that. So he's got text. He doesn't have the video up quite yet. Here's his scorecard for the type of pitch he did, and then actually Chris gave him some feedback. So this will show you what the feedback side looks like. So you see the numeric scoring, and you see whatever text, and of course Chris uses all caps here for, I'm not sure if he was yelling. I'm sure he wasn't yelling. He was just excited. So very much, again, meant to help. And so if there were additional people who had given feedback, and undoubtedly there will be over time, is the feedback would be stacked vertically here. So you'd get, sort of each scorecard would be individually represented. So again, the goal, the idea here is to be as honest and direct as we can, and again, to help people improve their skills as quickly as possible. And probably the prime driver for us in creating this is we go to sort of all different types of companies, whether it's working with sales reps or working with entrepreneurs who are trying to raise capital. And what we've observed is that more often than not, our best feedback doesn't happen until we ask someone for money. So when we ask a customer for money, when we ask our boss for a raise, or we ask an investor to invest in us, that's usually the time when we get very direct and honest feedback. And really the goal of this platform is to help all of us get better feedback before we get to those moments, so that when we get to those moments, we're performing really at an optimal level. So I'm going to go to YouTube, but before I do, are there any questions on the reviewing process? Okay, cool. Well, let's go to YouTube. So the question was about how do we find our embed code, and what I'm going to do is just kind of go through a couple of things on the way to that, just so you get a little better feel. My guess is that while some of you may be familiar with YouTube, probably some of you are not as well. So I'm going to go to the YouTube homepage, and this is just when you open up YouTube, you'll come to a page that looks something like this. It'll have probably just a variety of videos that it recommends for you to watch. And so what I'm going to do from here is just click on My Channel, which is just below that home screen. And you'll see now it's got kind of the things that I personally have uploaded. And so, it's got a long list here. I'm not necessarily going to go into that list. What I'm going to do is just go up here to Video Manager. And actually, for what we're trying to do, we don't need to do that. I apologize. We can just go to our list of videos. And so, you'll see I've got a bunch of videos here and whatnot. So I can go to any of them. I'll just go to this TMP review a pitch video. And you'll see it just starts playing, and that's normal. I'm going to go and stop it just because we don't need it to run. And if I scroll down just a little bit below the video, so you'll see the title here, TMP review a pitch. You'll see my channel name, which is my name. And then you'll see an add to and a share button. We'll want to click on the share button. And the kind of the normal mistake that people make here is they grab the link as opposed to the embed code. And you'll see below share, once we click on that, it reveals share, embed, and email. And what this does is essentially gives us the first, kind of defaults to giving us a link so that we could, essentially a URL that would allow us to share this with anyone else so that they could pull up the video. The choice that we want to get to is this embed code, and you'll see it's quite a bit different. It's actually, it always begins with iframe width, and but essentially this is HTML code that we pop into our test my pitch, and I'm just going to copy it out here, and I'm going to go back to test my pitch, and we'll go to, actually I have to go out to log in as the other user. I'm going to go to back to the pitch I posted to screen. So I'm going to just delete the embed code I have, and we'll put in this one, and we'll hit save changes. So the embed code is what allows the video to play within the site. It's just essentially a simple HTML code. And again, the help videos we have and the instructions, the text instructions we've given to Sean will walk you through this process. But it's just as simple as whatever video you want to essentially embed into the Test My Pitch site, you're simply going to click on share below the video, and then that will reveal the share, embed, and email buttons. And if you click on embed, then you can grab the embed code. I'll share one other thing with you on YouTube, and this will go to that video management area. But on the embedding, grabbing the embed code, did that answer the question, and or are there any other questions?
Yes, I think it answered my question. Thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure. Absolutely. Okay, so one other thing within YouTube. So let's go, just going to back up. I think I can just back up one screen here. Yeah, so when you click on my channel, and all of you will have this within YouTube, you click on Video Manager, and this is where we can actually go in and manage our videos. And I did hear a concern earlier about having our videos be public, and so I want to show you how you do that. So when you upload a video, you're going to come to this edit, this video management area. So Video Manager, and we're on the videos, and so we can just go click on
the arrow to the right of edit on the video that you want to work on. Then just choose Info and Settings, and that will bring you to your primary edit screen, where you'll be able to do everything from change the title, add descriptions, and so on. And you'll see here on the right the privacy settings. When we click on the down arrow next to public, it reveals unlisted and private. And to play on the Test My Pitch site, you're going to use either the public setting or unlisted. Public would mean that your video is available to everyone. Unlisted would mean that your video is not searchable and that it's only available when you share the links. And then private would not play on the Test My Pitch site, and the only way that anyone will see that is if you actually invite them into the video via their email. In other words, you give them rights to watch the video. And so unfortunately, not only doesn't private play on our site, but that won't play on, you can't embed that on any other site. So it's not just Test My Pitch, it's the challenge of that security. So unlisted should be very private. No one should ever see those videos unless you want them to. So once you've chosen the right setting, then you're just going to hit Save Changes and you're good to go. So your video will be saved, and then it's just a matter of getting your embed code and putting that into Test My Pitch, and you're good to go.
Bill, this is Dan Eichinger. Question for you. On our system, we don't have a large pipe, so what would be the minimum speed we need to run these videos on our, say at the office?
Yeah, That's a great question. I don't have a great answer for that. I've never been in a situation where they don't play well or easy. I think these are all generally fairly low bandwidth. But if you find
Okay.
a problem, please let us know.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, sure. Other questions, thoughts, issues? Well, great. We'll make this available, but certainly let us know. We really appreciate feedback, and we want to very much make this a very powerful tool for you all. And again, the goal is to help you all make more money, help you all be more effective when you're on the road.
Excuse me, Bill, this is Chris Teeter, and I am on the road. Just one question. Once this is out and even private, where just people in the company can see it, can it be copied and pasted and posted by someone else onto the public YouTube? That would be a compliant thing.
Sure, that's a great question. So certainly if somebody wanted to, they could find somebody could, they would have to be inside of Baltimore Life, inside of this team, but they could open your video up through our site into YouTube and find the link. It would be a fair amount of activity, and I guess what we've found so far in working with discrete groups like this is just, we haven't seen a situation where the group itself can't create trust where that isn't done. But you can certainly game the system if you wanted to.
Bill?
All right.
Yep.
This is Mrs. Q again. I just have a question. As a manager, would I be able to go in and look at all of my agents' videos?
Yes,
or do I have to
much.
go to each one separately?
Well, you'd go to, so where I am now, I'm in, and I can go and hit the browse sales link, and I'll see all of the individuals who have so far posted a communication or pitch, and then you would just click on the view details of the individuals with whom you would want to give feedback to or to review their pitches. Does that make sense, Shaniqua?
Yes, and thank you, but it's pronounced Shanika.
Oh, I apologize, Shaniqua.
No problem. Everybody makes that mistake. I don't know why.
I apologize.
Thank you. No problem. No problem. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Sure. Other questions? Well, please, again, this gets, as you use it, it gets easier and more familiar. So I would expect the first one to take you a little bit of effort, but after that, it should get fairly familiar. But it's, any new software you learn typically has a little bit of a learning curve. So again, we appreciate that you're joining us in this process, and really look forward to working with you. So I guess with that, Sean, I'll turn it back to you.
Thanks, Bill. Just to kind of give everybody a brief overview of why we're doing it, it's, I look at it as an opportunity to continue to grow within our own skill development. So we're all at different levels of skill set, and this is an opportunity to get feedback from your peers, as well as people from other offices that can help us to continue to get better. So even some veterans that have looked at this, that I've asked for some feedback or some input, have said, well, I'd like to get a username also, just because I get see how I'm doing with certain things. So we'll use it for primarily the sales process, but also you saw some templates on like networking and so forth. And but what I'd ask everybody to do just to get started is sometime between now and next Friday, just log into the site and just kind of become familiar on your own screen with what Bill was going through. So we'll take a week to do that, and then the following week, my thought was we could have everybody upload their script for a phone call. So you could pick any sort of a prospect that you're making a call to, and either type in your scripting and or your scripting and a video if you're to that point where you've learned how to upload a video. So this isn't a mandatory site where you're going to have to do things with deadlines. It's just, we'll have kind of a suggested curriculum, and if you find value to it, great. And if not, and if you're doing fine with your business without it, I totally understand. I'm not going to force it upon people. So, but that was it on my end. So just between now and next Friday, if you would just go in and kind of surf around a little bit and become comfortable with it. Any questions for me?
Yeah, I have one real quick question for you and Bill, I guess. If I already uploaded a video, but I'd like to change it, could I go and take it out and put another one in it? Is that possible?
Yep, you would just grab the new embed code and put that in, so yes.
All right, thank you so much.
Sure, and maybe to continue that a little bit is, just so it's clear, is there are going to be times when you'll post something, you'll get feedback, and then you'll have an idea for a better version. We would suggest that you pitch or you create a new version and post that, as opposed to, in this case, Shanika just wants to change out the video, but if you're actually creating sort of an entirely new pitch and you've gotten feedback, we'd suggest a second or third post, and that way you'll get fresh feedback, because the rule within the system is an individual is only allowed to give feedback once to each post, and so and part of that goal is so that, again, learning to communicate well and communicating better and better is an iterative process, and so we want to make sure that there are fresh versions that ultimately that we can give fresh feedback to. So just so you know that that bit as you mature your skills on the site, you'll want to post new versions as opposed to editing an existing version.
That's great. So you can go in there and get the critique and then change it and make another one and just have before and after, so to speak.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Yeah, you can actually show progress. Yep.
This is Dan Eichinger again. When will you have this text and everything so we can work through it? You went over a lot of information, and some of that I'm sure I missed. When will all that be ready for us to have, so I can have tactile, I can sit there and look at it, understand it better?
Sure. Everything is available for you now. Sean has it, and I'm sure he's in the process of sharing it. And the only thing that remains is what we're doing right now, and converting this session into a video that can be shared with you, which is sort of a 24 to 48 hour process.
Thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure.
That was all I had. Any other questions? All right, I think we're all set. Thanks for your time, Bill. We appreciate it.
Oh, thank you, Sean, and thank you to everybody. And again, really looking forward to working with you all. Hope you stay dry this weekend.
Likewise.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
Take care now.
That was really good.